Ireland, Italy, 50 points to 17. That is a fair walloping. Credit to the Italians for getting some points on the board. But yeah, Ireland, top of the log in the Six Nations with one round to go. Although they finished things off with an away trip to France. So their fate is entirely in their own hands. If they can get a bonus point win in France, then the Six Nations title will go to Ireland. But if not, there's still a couple of other scenarios that could go down. So yeah, we will see how things go. I'll go over the key points of this one, my thoughts, and some of the key stats. You guys can let me know your thoughts as well. I did let this one slip me by in terms of I didn't watch it live. 3:30 in the morning, and my kids were frustratingly unsettled during the night. So I decided to stay in bed until 6, watched the Premiership final, then watched Wales and France. Did not know the score on this one. Fortunately, the commentators in both of those games did not drop spoilers for this game. So yeah, I got to watch it on ITV's delayed coverage as if it was live. Plus, it's Ireland, Italy in Ireland, so I was pretty confident that the result was going to go this way. Just not the manner of how it was going to go down. So yeah, it was good to see it much after the fact, but to see it nonetheless. Stockdale had a foot in touch early. Conor Murray got a yellow card after a big Italian line break. They went bloody close, and he kind of killed the ball. And he was off. 10 minutes in the bin. Cynical. Not the best start for the Irish, to be honest. You look at that scoreline, no one's going to remember that. But it was a pretty disastrous start, really. They conceded 3. They were behind, if you can believe it, after looking at that final score. However, it did not take Ireland long to look entirely comfortable. Even during the yellow card, Ireland was still kind of managed to hit their stride. Basically, from the kickoff, I think Garbisi threw the ball to who took the kickoff, who received the kickoff, took it to, he passed it to Carlo Cana, who's not that big a guy for a 12, and the commentators alluded to that as well, because he usually plays 10, but he's been playing 12 for a while now. And yeah, the Irish guys just choke tackled him, so they managed to get a turnover pretty quick, smart from that kickoff. And yeah, they managed to set up CJ Stunder's try minutes later after going through phases close to the line. You could really get that feeling in this game that Ireland, for the most part, they did kick 1 penalty. They weren't going for 3s. At all times, they were opting for 7. So, despite the fact that they had Conor Murray in the bin, they still managed to score a try. Then, 13 or 14 minutes, they get a scrum penalty, and Johnny Sexton knocks that one over, so that makes it 10-3. They win the yellow card. I think maybe had Murray come back on. It's either 7-3 or 10-3. It's much of a muchness. So yeah, pretty well done from Ireland at that point in managing the yellow card. They did have a check in terms of Irish discipline again on a Bundy Aki tackle at one point, just to check that he didn't kind of go in with no arms and put in a shoulder. But it seemed fairly innocuous to me. They did end up conceding a penalty from it. From that penalty, the Italians weren't able to really work much out of it. And that was all too common a theme. The Irish defence, I thought, in that first half, apart from that opening foray where Italy got the big line break, looked just entirely too comfortable. Unfortunately, Ireland lost Gary Ringrose on about 26 minutes to an HIA. He essentially got kicked pretty much in the jaw, maybe the head. I only saw it replayed once, but he was trying to charge down one of the Italians' clearing kicks, and as the Italian boot was just following through, his head got in the wrong place, and yeah, gave him a right walloping, so he was down in back play for quite some time. He looked like he kind of wanted to rejoin the line, and the doctor pulled him back. He was like, no, you need to get off, which was really a wise choice, because often the players do want to get back into the swing of things, but definitely not the right time for that. Hugo Keenan, he had a bit of a debut, didn't he? On half an hour, he gets his first try. I say first try. Some space out wide. he just made it look easy, man. He stepped Jaden Hayward, went through a couple of defenders. It was not an easy try in terms of he didn't just have to stroll over. He still had a bit of work to do. Made it look easy, though. And a good conversion, 17-3. He looks to have gotten a double pretty much a couple of minutes later because Jacob Stockdale just cuts the Italian defenders like a hot knife through butter. Like back to good old Jacob Stockdale madness. But they rule that James Ryan blocked or, interfered with one of the potential tacklers. So it ends up getting chalked off. It would have been a phenomenal effort. And to be fair, you just can't be putting your hands on people off the ball because you will get pinged for it. I reckon Stockdale gets through even if James Ryan's doing that. So, everybody blocks runners. It's a thing. They practice it, but you got to keep it a slightly more subtle one than that. It didn't make much difference because Keenan did get his double virtually 2 minutes later. This time it was Doris with a turnover. They hit them on the counter-attack. Conor Murray put a kick through. Keenan regathered it. And it's one of those ones where you've got enough time between you and the ball to mentally stuff it up if you overthink it. But he made it look easy. So, yeah, really good regather under pressure and another great conversion. So 24 points to 3 at halftime. 1 try short of the bonus point for Ireland. Looking pretty comfortable. The Italians have had more ball, more territory, but they've looked kind of muted in attack. The Irish defence in all facets has really been able to cause the Italians all kinds of problems. The second half maybe did start a bit better from the Italians. They managed to win a penalty in their own 22 under a bit of pressure to get them out of jail. They got a penalty into the Irish. They kicked it into the Irish 22. And then the Irish got a line-out steal. So it was just this kind of thing I'm talking about where as soon as the Italians were able to maybe start to build some pressure, the Irish guys just had a way to release it through a turnover or through a line-out steal or, big tackles, just counter-rucking, whatever it was. It just seemed entirely too comfortable. That being said, the Italians did get the first try of the second half through Padovani, 55 minutes. He intercepts a Sexton pass, and it's the ultimate one-handed intercept because he stuck his mid out. And if he dropped it, you maybe even say, well, there's no way he's getting that. But he managed to kind of bobble it back into his control. The ultimate, those laws are really frustrating. I know why they're there, to stop people batting the ball away. But that was the ultimate one. You've seen 9 guys go for it and all knock it on. And he just managed to regather it. So if he'd missed it, it would have been a deliberate knock on. But it was a sweet take, and he got it. And 24 points to 10. 24 points to 10 is not under pressure, but that's not convincing, I guess, for Ireland at that point, considering how good they'd been in the first half. Still comfortable, but 60 minutes, Irish get a maul try. That one's through Connors, another guy who gets his try on debut. He had a pretty good bloody outing, didn't he, as well? You Irish guys got lots of good loosies, man. You guys are breeding them. Too many Italian penalties conceded. And that was the bonus point try. So interestingly, it took them 20 minutes to get that bonus point try. Maybe a little bit of mental pressure. Maybe the Italians stepping it up a bit. But once they got that one, you can see they kind of let loose a little bit more because either that or the Italians stepped off a bit. Maybe a bit of both as always. It's never just one-sided. But yeah, important bonus point try. Sexton gets one a few minutes later. The Irish hands for that one were pretty slick, honestly. I watched the French game and they had some sweet tries with Dupont working his magic, but the Irish try was also a proper thing of beauty. Stunder, I think he was getting over the advantage. I think Kellen Doris was involved as well, but just the hands. And then Sexton's the guy who's got 2 defenders to beat and he just crash balls through both of them. So him and Stunder kind of swap roles. They missed that conversion, so it's 36-10. And then again, a few minutes later, Bundy Aki gets a try. If you're talking about sweet hands, Peter O'Mahony's offload for that one was like Sonny Bill Williams style. Takes the contact, wraps the hand around the corner and just flicks it through. Very much deliberate and very planned. Knew the man was there, drew the tackler, put him into space, and Aki, he got ankle tapped, but he still managed to slide over the line. So ultimate control. And Ireland were just cruising at that point, 43-10. They did get one last one right before the whistle through Heffernan. I didn't realize it had been so long between his caps. They said it was like 3 years. But just too much power, man. Way too much power. They did, I think, Sexton had gone off by that point. They took a quick conversion, and he made it 50 points to 10 to try and make sure they had another chance. I guess in terms of the overall scheme of things with Six Nations, they wanted to put as many points on as possible. So they wanted one last chance to score. But that was a bit costly because that man Garbisi on his debut as well, man. Like Connors on debut, Keenan on debut, Heffernan, like after a huge layoff in terms of not playing for Ireland, and then Garbisi on debut. His try was also pretty sweet, nice bit of individual brilliance. He takes the ball way behind the gain line and just like a nice little dummy and step. I think it's Aki that he went round and plus at least one other guy. He looked knackered after the try, like as he was setting to go for the conversion. He was absolutely breathing heavily. But yeah, so nice try for the Italians to finish off. Not a great day at the office, but they had a number of guys who were on debut or very young, early 20s. So hopefully that's a bit of experience for them leading into next year. Overall stats, possession and territory ended up 50-50, so the Irish had the lion's share of that second half, able to even out the stats. Run meters 535 to 277, so pretty dominant. Tackling percentage, Ireland 90%, which is phenomenal, 135 tackles. The Italians at 82%. 82% is not that bad, but man, they still shipped 50 points. Keenan and Stockdale both had 100 plus run meters. Stunder had 6 defenders beaten. Tyke Byrne had 17 out of 17 tackles. He is a machine as well. He was there at line-out time as well. Polledri, 9 out of 10 tackles for the Italians. Garbisi had 4 defenders beaten. So, yeah, good experience. But overall, just another day at the office, you'd have to say, for the Irish. Top of the log, as I mentioned. That Irish jersey looks a bit better than the promotional shots made it look. Sometimes you look at a jersey in the promo shots and you think that's horrendous, but on the pitch it didn't look that bad, I thought. Crowd noise. They do the fake crowd noise at most of the games now, and whoever was doing it at Murrayfield did a better job yesterday than this game. This game was really noticeable because it was quite forced. But anyway, both these teams play next week. Italy's got England, and Ireland, like I said, have got a chance against France, but France beat Wales, so yeah, it's all to play for. How good is it to see international rugby back? It's phenomenal. The Irish team, I think they said they wanted to kind of lift people's spirits with this result, so hopefully they've done a bit of that. Seeing the debutants get tries, seeing some sweet handling and some very, very solid defense was also really pleasing. So yeah, overall I thought a pretty good watch despite the no crowd thing. It's just good to have international rugby back, man. So yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on the game. If you haven't seen it, it is on ITV for the next 30 days. If you're in the UK, that's straightforward enough to watch. If you're not, stick around and I'll show you how I watched it. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you soon. See you later. Alright guys, if you haven't seen this game, it is available on ITV. You can see I'm kind of watching it on catch up here because it was on at 3:30 in the morning, so I decided to watch it the next day. It's on ITV's website. You do need to sign up for an account for ITV, which is your name, email address, and UK postcode, which if you're outside the UK, you may need to Google. However, if you are outside the UK, remember you will need to be connected to a VPN. So you pick a UK server, so when you log in, it's not going to give you like a region blocked error. So yeah, ITV, UK, if you're in the UK, that's fine. If you're not, then connect to it. And then, yeah, categories, sports, and then like the Scotland-Georgia game is there, the France-Wales game is there, and this Six Nations one with Ireland and Italy is there as well. So international rugby, that's the two games I just mentioned, and then Six Nations is just there as well. So yeah, man, you do need to watch some ads, but other than that, having content free to air, like for those of us in New Zealand where everything is on pay TV, any sports anyway, is just kind of amazing. So, like you can see, all these little dots on the tracker, those are your ad breaks. So there's no ads between here and here, which will be start of the first half, end of the first half, and then start of the second half, end of the second half. So the actual game itself is ad free. It's just before and between that you'll get your ads. So if you don't want to watch all the pre-match stuff, you just click there and you'll at least skip a couple of ad breaks. But like I said, ads is a pretty small complaint, given that it's sports free to air. So yeah, if you guys don't have a VPN, check the link in the description. It's really useful. It gets around this kind of stuff pretty easily. And yeah, enjoy the game, guys. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.